Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast. Hello, and welcome to the fifth episode of Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast. I'm your host, Geoff at Geoff Willis, and each week I'll be talking fantasy Premier League football. You can find the podcast on iTunes, just search for Captain's Pick. And as this is the fifth episode of the podcast, we should be granted access to Spotify, so hopefully you're listening to it on there already. We also feature on the YouTube channel FPL Podcasts. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. This really is a special episode as it's the first podcast we've done that actually has a video element to it. We're still very much a podcast, but if you want to see images of me, but more importantly my team, fixtures and statistics, then head on over to the YouTube channel FPL Podcasts. Now on today's show, I'll be looking at my squad selection for this weekend, looking at Game Week 4's fixtures, along with my predicted possible points outcome and my captain's pick. So here's my team for Game Week 4 currently. I have Pickford in goal, Everton are at home to Huddersfield, so I'll be looking at Pickford to get a clean sheet in that match, the first of his season. Otherwise, he's definitely one that I'll be looking at maybe replacing. If you can't get a clean sheet at home to Huddersfield, then something is definitely not right there. Then I'm starting Wan-Bissaka, Southampton home. Good chance to get a clean sheet there and some attacking points. He's back from his red card. He did play midweek in the Carabao Cup, but I think he'll probably start in this match. Starting alongside him is Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool. Leicester away game should be okay for a clean sheet. Certainly some attacking points I'll be looking at from him. Mendy, Newcastle at home, clean sheet, attacking points, surely 100%, unless for some reason he gets dropped. But the way he's been playing, I can't see that even in the Pep Roulette. Bertrand, Southampton, Crystal Palace away. Bit of a tricky one because obviously I have Palace players, but obviously if I don't get any attacking returns from Crystal Palace, then at least I'll get a clean sheet from Bertrand. And there's also a chance after obviously his great goal last weekend that he might get some attacking points, if not a clean sheet. Starting in my midfield, I've got Salah, who Liverpool playing Leicester away, I said earlier. He's always good for points, even in away matches. He's been in great form so far this season, and he's currently my vice-captain. Bernardo Silva, Newcastle at home. Gut instinct says that he may be rested for this game. I haven't really got too much wiggle room to transfer him out, so I'm just going to have to keep him in, and fingers crossed that he stays in the starting 11. If he doesn't, maybe he gets half an hour, but still chance of some points in that game, I think. And then my one transfer I did this week, transferred out Richarlison and got in Theo Walcott. Great fixture, Huddersfield at home, definitely looking for some attacking returns. It was a bit of a gamble for Theo Walcott, but I think it seems like a little bit of a no-brainer to me. So fingers crossed for Theo. Up front, Wilfried Zaha, Southampton at home. Scored a couple of goals so far this season, but at home against Southampton, not a great defence. I think he'll be in the goals and in the points, so looking for a big points haul from him. Kane away to Watford. Watford have been in good form so far this season, but Kane's grabbed a couple of goals so far. Goal away at Old Trafford, an assist, so definitely picking up some form. So could be some good attacking points from him in this game. And then finally, Sergio Aguero, Newcastle home, loves playing against Newcastle. Scored a ridiculous amount of goals against them at home, and really there was no choice other than him to get the captain's armband. On the subs bench, I've got Daniels as first sub. Chelsea away, don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet there. But if Wan-Bissaka is rested because of the midweek game, he'll come off the bench and maybe get an attacking return points-wise, because I'm not sure a clean sheet's going to come that way. And then Lerma and Chalobah, Both played midweek in the Carabao Cup. That was both their first games of the season, so at least they're fit now. And this is the first game week I've had all 15 players fit and available for selection. Now looking ahead to game week 4 fixtures. The early game, Leicester versus Liverpool. Be a tricky game for Liverpool, I think. Should be some attacking returns for both teams. I'm not sure there's going to be a clean sheet here. Probably predicted 2-1 Liverpool, with hopefully Salah and TAA getting some assists and goals would be great in that match. Brighton Fulham, very tricky to predict this one. Mitrovic looked great in the last game, so did Fulham attacking wise. Not sure what they'll be like away from home. But I could see maybe a 1-1 in this game. But I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in this one. Chelsea-Bournemouth, being a Chelsea supporter, I'll definitely be looking at a big Chelsea win here. Not sure we'll keep a clean sheet. I think Bournemouth have looked good attacking-wise. This could be a 3-2 Chelsea, I think. Looking back at my team, I don't have any Chelsea players. A little bit of a rule of mine. Gets a little bit too emotional to have Chelsea players in my FPL team and to be supporting them too, but after Alonso's been absolutely trolling me, I think it's just as emotional not having any Chelsea players. If Chelsea do go big goals-wise, I could be struggling this week because I have no Chelsea coverage. Looking to the next fixture, Crystal Palace at home to Southampton. Definitely looking at points for my Palace players. Could see this being 3-0 or 3-1 to Palace. They look decent at home, and Southampton have not looked good, home or away. I can't see them keeping a clean sheet, so Palace win there, I think. Everton at home to Huddersfield, be looking at a clean sheet for Pickford, as I said earlier, and attacking returns from Theo Walcott. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton with a Theo brace. West Ham, Wolves, bit of a tricky one to predict. I think Wolves have looked good so far this season, impressed against Man City last week, but that was at home. Hammers have been struggling, but they've had a very tricky fixture run. I think this one could be a 1-1 draw. Definitely see Wolves scoring, but the Hammers at home, they'll be looking to impress the crowd, so I think they'll get on the score sheet as well. Next up, Man City at home to Newcastle, the late game on Saturday. Newcastle defended well against Chelsea last week, slightly unlucky not to get the point. Probably going to set up in the same fashion against Man City. Not sure that's a good option or not, to be honest, but I can only see one winner in this game, Man City, and I think they'll keep a clean sheet and score 3 or 4 goals. 4-0 I'm going for, with Sergio double, maybe Mendy getting on the score sheet and an assist would be good. Unless Aguero gets dropped for some reason and gets rested and I've got him as my captain and he comes on for the last 10 minutes, that could be disastrous for my team. But fingers crossed I win in the Pep Roulette. Going on to Sunday's games, Cardiff at home to Arsenal. Cardiff have looked strong defensively but have nothing up front. Arsenal have looked weak at the back but look pretty decent from an attacking sense. So I could definitely see Arsenal scoring here. Not sure it'll be easy as many as predicting. I think maybe just a 1-0 or a 2-1 to Arsenal in this game. Aubameyang hasn't scored so far. Considering so many people have transferred him out this week, I'm sure he's going to troll them and bag a brace. Next up, we have Burnley Man United. Burnley obviously played Thursday night in the Europa League, so they may be tied for this match. Man United just looking for something, anything to hold on to so far after losing to back-to-back games, Brighton and Spurs. I do fancy United maybe just to nick this one 1-0. Don't think there'll be many goals in it. Burnley haven't looked great at the back, so probably a Pogba penalty in the 89th minute to win the game on this one. And then rounding up the fixtures, Watford at home to Spurs. So Watford have looked decent. So have Spurs. Spurs will be happy with their away win at Old Trafford on Monday night. Also a London derby. Could be a few goals in this one. I think Spurs might win this 3-1 in the end. Could be tight up until 60, 70 minutes. But then I think the quality of Kane and Moura and Ali and Ericsson will probably shine through in the end and get that 3-1. So that's the weekend fixtures. So my stats going into the weekend. Overall, I'm sat on 78,716. I have a squad value of 101.2 million with zero point 0.1 in the bank. If Chelsea do go big, and I say earlier I have no coverage, I'm probably expecting a big red arrow. If they do score a lot of goals and a lot of points come in that match going towards Hazard and Alonso, then I'll be struggling to stay in the top 100,000. Depends on how the rest of my team do, if they can make up and cover those points. So sitting on overall 225 points, overall rank of 78,716. Not bad considering there's nearly 5.5 million players playing the game. In terms of a points haul this week, I'd be happy with 60 to 70 points. That'd probably depend on Aguero maybe getting a couple of goals as my captain pick. Few clean sheets in there hopefully. So 70 points I'd be happy with. And depending on how my top three go, could be anything between 60 to 80 points. So that's where I'm going to wrap up the show. Remember that the game week deadline is this coming Saturday at 11:30 in the morning, so make sure you get all your transfers done in time for that. You can find me tweeting Podcast Gold on the Twitter podcast account at Captain's Pick Pod. Feel free to send me any questions or topics you'd like discussed on the show. Remember to look out for this video on the YouTube channel Vilsey Podcasts, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe to that channel, that would be great. And so from me, good luck with Game Week 4. Here's hoping for a Aguero hat-trick. And until next time, it's been my pleasure to talk with you. Captain's Pick, the FPL Podcast.